Hey, it's me, GV, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Let's 100% Fallout New Vegas. We're getting so close. This is actually the final quest we have. That's not the main quest. Can you believe it? I know I keep plugging my Twitch channel at the start of these episodes, and some people don't like that, but at the same time, it's just because I know there will be people that want to see this content. And I want to remind you all that we will most likely be doing a Caesar's Legion totally evil, like actually just straight up evil, maybe chaotic evil. That would be fun. Joker-esque character. Either here or on Twitch. And I'm telling you this because if you want to follow my Twitch to see that in the future and look out for notifications where I say, hey, Fallout New Vegas, Caesar's Legion evil playthrough, you know, be sure to follow the channel. But my plan now is to do, a chaotic evil, very, very quick, run through it. And I'm wondering if anybody knows about my Maverick's event last year on Twitch. We kind of did a different thing every single day in May on Twitch, and that involved some Fallout and Elder Scrolls. So I may try to do it all in one sitting. That could be a thing. We'll just see. Or if I think it'll be better fit for a YouTube series, a very short one, I might do that. But anyways, regardless, it's good to follow all the stuff if you want to see that. But throwing that out there, I'll try to hold off on the Twitch plugs because I know there has been a lot. But hey, we do some great stuff over there, okay? And honestly, I'm very proud of how far we've come and how much effort I've put into it. Regardless, moving on. Welcome back to the 100%. We are on the final side quest, and it is Arcade Ganon's companion quest for Auld Lang Syne, which is the New Year's song. Right? Yeah. So we need to get Judah Krieger, who I do not know, Orion Moreno, who I do not know, who apparently is at odds with Cannibal Johnson, who we've already recruited, Daisy Whitman, who I think that's who we're about to meet. I think she's that lady in one of these suites that I always forget what her point is. And then Dr. Henry, who's up in Jacobstown. And yeah, we need to take Arcade with us, who is here, and we're getting a little more about Arcade, who again is voiced by Zachary Levi. Zachary Levi, whatever it is. Anyways, so yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the lady with the bonnet that I'm thinking of. Door to motel room. Well, hello.
Fine weather for flying. It's times like these that make me miss it all.
It's times like these you learn to be a remnant. For those that don't know, everybody always asks, my name Grohlvana comes from Dave Grohl, who's the drummer and the frontman, the drummer of Nirvana and the frontman for the Foo Fighters. Plus Nirvana comes together to make Grohlvana. And everybody thinks I'm a fan of Nirvana, but I'm really not. More so a Foo Fighters fan. It's just because Grohl doesn't sound good, whereas Grohlvana sounds, at least has a bit of it rolls off the tongue a little bit. You were a pilot?
Vertibird pilot. 71 missions and only lost one chopper. Rotor malfunction over Klamath. Hard landing, but I walked away.
Was Klamath a Fallout 2 location? That's ringing a bell. What do you do in Novak?
I help folks strip down the more complicated bits of salvage they bring in. Engines mostly. The bits and pieces we take out are usually worth more than the whole thing put together.
Well, that's interesting. So yeah, she has a point. If you're going to put a random NPC in a place, give them a point, like why are they there? And Obsidian's usually good about that. Did you fly for the NCR?
4? No, not exactly. It was a long time ago. Things are a lot different these days, and those days are way behind me.
And we have the context that, yeah, she wasn't flying for the NCR, she was flying against the NCR. Arcade asked me to find you. I'm recruiting the remnants, and they'll need your piloting skills.
Told you everything about us, did he? Well, it's been a while since I've had my hands on the controls of a vertibird. There's a chance I could crash us in the middle of Lake Mead. That place seems to attract aircraft for some reason. But if I get one more chance to fly, count me in. I'll be there. My part of the passphrase is dear.
So we know it's old and deared. I forget what the actual full passphrase is. How did you like flying vertibirds for the Enclave?
I was never happier than when I was in the cockpit. I was able to go just about anywhere and everywhere, limited only by the fuel I could carry. There were more than a few missions where I took the scenic route home just so I could stay in the air. Caught hell for it every time, but worth it. Some of the things we did were questionable, I know. That's just how it was back then. Figure I've done enough good to make up for any sins, anyhow.
Yeah, the Enclave is really interesting because how they're portrayed in Fallout 2, as far as I remember, because again, they're a huge part of Fallout 2, and I'm not going to spoil anything, because you should play that if you like the Fallout series. If you haven't, they're a little rough around the edges because they're old, but honestly, Fallout 1 and 2 are amazing games, and I really should have done a lot better with my Fallout 2 playthrough, and I regret it. Maybe revisit it someday. Who knows? But, yeah, the Enclave is weird because it's like leadership led them to do really awful things, and it was the whole thing of like, we were just following orders, man. So, like, it's not, I wouldn't say they're all inherently bad, but the Enclave has definitely done some pretty brutal, awful stuff, especially for the opening cutscene in Fallout 2. Goodbye.
Watch your six out there.
You mean my ass. Arcade Ganon? Why is oh my gosh. Why? Why would I open this door and he wouldn't be here?
Since my mother died, Daisy's been the only woman in my life. She was the only other woman close to my father, too. She flew him out on over a dozen missions, including his last. I've always been close to Daisy. There have been some good men along the way, but lovers make poor confidants. Daisy never had children of her own, so she was always there to listen. Being in the Enclave didn't mean much to her. She just loved to fly. It broke her heart to be grounded.
Definitely sounds like that. It was an important part of her life. Why shouldn't she enjoy it?
As screwed up as it sounds, at least she was a part of something. Granted, it was something admittedly pretty bad, but it was something. If you spent the first half of your life flying Enclave troopers in a vertibird, I suppose picking over pre-war rocket parts doesn't quite compare.
Yeah, I don't know why he's really judging her. It sounds like that's what she just loves it. It sounds like she's lived her entire life doing exactly what she loves, which I would say that's a life worth living. Although, you know, unfortunately, it's a part of the Enclave, which again is, again, I don't know if it's just considered evil. Like, I would consider Caesar's Legion just flat out evil. Enclave's a little more in the middle somewhere. They've done some good, but a lot of bad. I don't really know. I'm not remembering everything they have and have not done. But regardless, that's another one. We got Judah Krieger, Orion Moreno, and Dr. Henry. Let's get Dr. Henry done. He should be up here in Jacobstown. Yes, sirree. Bob, if you remember right way back when, we met Lily here along with the Super Mutants. I wonder if Marcus has anything left to say. I feel like we've talked to him somewhat recently. And again, Marcus is actually a companion in Fallout 2, and a pretty good one if I remember right.
Something on your mind?
What's the story with Keen?
Smart, charismatic, and hell of a mean streak. Doesn't care for humans, prefers fighting them to talking. He's got a lot of pull with Nightkin, though. He talks, they listen. Was hoping he could draw the Nightkin to Jacobstown. Keen is saner than most, but I know he's thinking of going his own way again. He's aggressive, impatient, can't stand sitting around.
Why does Keen want to leave?
Because of a promise, one I haven't been able to keep. The Nightkin all suffer from schizophrenia. It's the stealth boys they use, or used to use. Nightkin have a hard time being seen like normal folks. Can't stand it. A few already left to try and find more stealth boys. Miserable situation. They either stay here and suffer, or dig up stealth boys and lose their minds. Not much of a choice.
What happens if Keen leaves?
That happens, there's a good chance other Nightkin will follow. It'll make it hard to get a cure to them. Worse, if Keen and the Nightkin tear up the Mojave hunting for stealth boys, people are gonna get killed. Most humans can't tell the difference between mutants. Might come here looking for payback.
You're a mutant too. Wouldn't the Nightkin listen to you?
That's like saying Caesar and Kimball would listen to each other. Nightkin don't have a lot of trust for others, mutants included.
Yeah, that's a good point. Marcus is good because Marcus, you know, I don't want to preach or anything, but like I try to follow the 4 agreements, which is just be impeccable with your word, don't take anything personally, don't make assumptions, always do your best. It's very hard to follow those, but when I'm actually following them and like legitimately following them, my life is very clear. It's easy to just not get sidetracked by things that pull you down. So Marcus just reminds me of somebody that really like would follow that. Like nothing you say to him really irks him, and he's just clearly like a good spirit in the realm of Fallout. You know, I really like this guy. I had some questions about Jacobstown.
Such as?
I think I'll run through this quickly. You guys can pause the screen if you want to see what he's replying to. What's the history of Jacobstown?
Was a resort. I figured as mutant. One of these days, I'm hoping
I'd like to know about you.
was part of.
Super Mutant Army.
Long story. The Master thought he.
Yeah, this is a lot of Fallout 2 stuff. You were a mayor?
Town was Broken Hill.
Ah, Broken
Bunch
Hills.
of super mutants,
Right.
humans, and
Tell me more about the Tribal. Oh, the Tribal is who you play as in Fallout 2.
we were looking for a Gek to save the village of Arroyo. Eventually, we did. Nuked an oil rig in the process. We went separate ways after that. I went east into the Rockies looking for other mutants like myself. Don't know what happened to my friend. I've got a feeling it turned out all right in the end.
Hey, yeah, so that probably goes over a lot of people's heads, including my own, before you play Fallout 2. Let's see. I think that's everything. See you later, Marcus. Yeah, I wanted to give this guy a little more limelight because I'm sure he had more to talk about than we listened to. Goodbye. So yeah, if you remember Jacobstown, this is where we met Lily, one of our companions who is a Nightkin who, yeah, the lore. Can you just not help the Nightkin? And if you can, it must be an unmarked quest because, like, we've got Stealth Boy. But yeah, it's like addiction. Either they stay addicted to Stealth Boys and lose their mind from overuse, or they just suffer without it. It's, yeah, very difficult being a Nightkin. And speaking of one,
Bother someone else. I don't want anything to do with you.
well, hey, you're already not attacking me on sight, which is, you know, an upgrade versus most of the Nightkin I've met. Do you have a problem with humans?
Humans are always staring at things. We Nightkin don't like being stared at. Is uncomfortable.
And if I remember right, that's so mean. If I remember right, Nightkin are actually in Fallout 2 as well, and they even have those, like, big swords. I think. I could be wrong on that. How does that make you different from some humans?
It is different. Right now, I'm trying very hard to remain civil, and you're not making it easy with your incessant questions.
I've asked, like, 2. Who's the other human you mentioned?
Dr. Henry, he's one of you. Go speak with him instead of me.
What do you do here?
I represent the Nightkin. Marcus may lead this town, but the Nightkin listen to what I have to say. Doesn't mean I don't respect Marcus for what he's trying to do. However, he doesn't truly understand the difficulties of being a Nightkin.
I think that would be hard for anyone to truly understand. Why are the Nightkin here in Jacobstown?
The stealth boys we use have cumulative adverse effects on our minds, but thanks to you, it seems a cure is on the way at last.
Oh, right, because I did, what, maybe a quest a long time ago that I'm forgetting. Yeah, no problem, I totally remember that. Goodbye.
Finally.
I'm sorry, dude. Jeez Louise. But I get it, honestly. I don't even hold it against this guy. I understand being a super mutant and on top of that being a Nightkin must be just awful.
Hello.
Did we ever talk to Calamity?
I'd heard there were new people in town, but I thought it was more super mutants. Nice to meet ya. I'm Calamity.
What do you do here?
Most of the time, I'm Dr. Henry's research assistant. We're looking into ways to cure the, I'm also handy with tools. And once in a while I venture down into the valley to trade the bighorner hides and meat for supplies.
Why did she cut off when she was saying she was looking for a cure for the Nightkin thing? Show me what you have for sale.
All right.
Oh, she actually sells stuff, huh? A pair of Wasteland Surgeon outfit, atomic cocktail, let's see, bunch of stuff. How about stim pack? Oh, you've got a lot. But we've got basically infinite because of the dead money chips. And that's about it. I need something repaired.
Let me take a look.
Now, I'm sure everything here... Oh, wow, it's actually doable for once, only because her skill is probably... Yeah, she's only got 60 skills. That's probably not even worth the 1,000 caps. Never mind. Does anyone other than super mutants come up this way?
Prospectors looking for salvage, usually. They always run when they see the mutants. The great Khans come this way once in a while, but they keep their distance. I think they're mostly keeping an eye on us.
This would be a great place to live if you had to live in Mojave, honestly, especially if you're a fan of Twin Peaks. You have an interesting name.
Thank you. Change names and jobs every decade or so just to keep things interesting. I picked Calamity this time because it sounded nice. I've never really done much science stuff till now. I'm pretty good at it. Or so Dr. Henry tells me.
You sound really good at it. Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay, so here's Dr. Henry, who I always forget is actually, yeah, part of the remnants, the Enclave. Hello.
Is there something else I can do for you?
Arcade Gannon has asked me to gather all the former members of the Enclave in the Mojave.
I'm intrigued, so I'll go to this reunion. I'll be handing things over to Calamity, so talk to her if anything comes up. Oh, you'll need my word from the passphrase to get into the bunker. Friends. Don't forget it.
Old dear friends. Is it just For Auld Lang Syne but translated to English? Is that what it is? I'm not really sure. For Auld Lang Syne is English. I don't really know. Anyways, we don't get to ask him. Oh yeah, what about the Nightkin cure? Which we've already asked. You're a scientist, and then all this. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Doc Henry always was a hard one to figure out. It didn't seem to matter whether he was working with humans or dogs. He had an equal lack of affection for both. A regular Diogenes. I'm not sure what the man was after. Knowledge is power, but to what end for Henry, I have no idea. The problem was what mattered to him, not its practical impact. He simply solved riddles because they existed.
Hey, I get that. I'm a big fan of riddles and puzzles, especially in video games. So yeah, you can always respond with like a dismissive answer or a respectful answer, and I think we'd be respectful because we respect Arcade Gannon as Avery. His work was what mattered to him.
Not everyone dreams of being a revolutionary, I suppose. Maybe we can't all change the world. Maybe it's enough just to do good for the short time that we're here. No one's going to sing Doc Henry's praises when he's gone, but he's probably saved more lives than I ever will.
You will. You know the difference he made. And yeah, I think a life worth living is one that has put out more good than bad, regardless of the scale. Obviously, you know, we all can't be massive heroes, but just putting any sort of good into the world, I think, is overall, you know, adding to the progress of humanity, right? And maybe that's the point of why humans exist in the first place, if there is any point. Miguel's Pawn Shop. Wait, whatever happened to Raul? I'm forgetting his name. Is he just at his place? He must be at his place. I'm like, wait, that's Fallout New Vegas, not 3, right? Yeah, it was just so long ago that we got him. Whatever happened to him? Huh. Yeah, I'm assuming he just stays at his place unless you... We probably just didn't tell him to go to his, go to the, Lucky... Where is his... I know he's got, like, a workshop, and if I could... I think it was on the eastern side. I'm not going to spend too long looking for this. Yeah, it's called just, like, Raul's Shack, right? Just want to get all my... yeah, I know we did his companion quest, so we did everything with him, but I kind of want all my, people to be in the same place. Okay, I can check on that later. Anyways, where's this person?
Of Legion raiding parties
Oh,
all
you.
over the place.
Yeah, we talked to this person a while ago, and I don't remember what their deal was.
You don't strike me as someone down on their luck. What brings you to Westside?
What do you do in Westside?
I help tend the crops, stand watch for fiends, and generally help keep things civilized.
How long have you lived in Westside?
Couple of years now. I was a trader for a while, but got tired of all the walking. Westside was a good place to settle down as any.
Arcade asked me to find you. I'm gathering the remnants.
Hello, Arcade. Making some new friends, are you? Why the need for a bunch of old war horses like us?
So this guy was the commander, I believe. You'll be the element of surprise was Arcade's suggestion, not mine. You tell me. Yeah, we really don't know. You tell me.
Well, assuming our equipment cache is intact, my squad would have the edge in armor and firepower. There's only a handful of us, though, so the best tactic would be for us to swoop in where the target isn't expecting us. How am I doing?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Does that mean you're in?
I'll be there, but it won't mean squat if the rest of the group isn't there, too. Oh, and you'll need my part of the passphrase to get into the bunker. Navarro.
Old dear friends, Navarro. Navarro, old dear friends. Tell me about the old days with the Enclave.
I miss those days sometimes. We all had a purpose, you know? I admit that some of the folks in charge were pretty ruthless. The rest of us, though, we were just trying to civilize things. The NCR was still new, and it didn't look like they'd last all that long. Then we lost the oil rig, and shortly after that, the base at Navarro. Nobody left except us remnants.
All right, the Navarro base. Now I'm remembering that. Try not to spoil too much about Fallout 2, but obviously they're kind of going through it a bit here. What happened to the... Well, right here, yeah. What happened to the Enclave oil rig in Navarro?
Internal sabotage took down the oil rig. Never did get the full story.
I did.
The NCR took out Navarro, saying we posed a threat to the region.
I'd like to know more about your former squad.
I was the officer in charge, and Johnson and Moreno were my heavy hitters. Henry handled tech things, and Whitman flew the chopper. Johnson and Moreno never got along, and I had my hands full keeping those two apart some days. It was a difference in philosophy, mostly. Mercy was not part of Moreno's vocabulary.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting Moreno the most. Goodbye.
Uh-huh.
Because they all sound like pretty stand-up people except for Moreno.
Judah Krieger is the glue that's kept us all together over the years, and with good reason. Anyone who can command Moreno and Johnson in the same unit without somebody getting fragged is one hell of a leader. Krieger was polite and kind, but never warm. He always did his best to make me feel welcome in the group. I think he did it out of a sense of loyalty to my father. Loyalty means a lot to Judah. Not loyalty to the Enclave, or even the ideals they fought for, but to the people who served with him.
This is their story, not yours. You could be so mean. They're loyal to you, too.
Sometimes I wonder how much of my father they see in me. They went through a lot together, but my family went through it too. I'm glad they've watched out for me all these years. Maybe someday I can return the favor.
You already are, my boy. You already are. You're giving them purpose in an otherwise sedentary life. Now, Moreno, I don't remember anything about. Most of these people I didn't remember. Daisy we usually see, because, you know, even if you play New Vegas for any period of time, you're probably going to end up in Novak, and then if you explore around a little bit, you'll probably end up seeing Daisy, Whitman, and then Cannibal Johnson is close to the Strip, so same sort of thing. And plus, his area's name sounds really interesting. Cannibal Johnson's Cave is like, what's that about? Are there cannibal things going on in there? What the heck? But then, yeah, Judah, I think we've seen as well somewhat recently, because he's just kind of wherever he is near the Strip. But these other two people, I don't really remember. Oh, Dr. Henry, of course. But yeah, Orion Moreno, I do not remember in the slightest. Like I said, it sounds like he's mean, though, while everybody else is at least respectful. So I want to see who this guy is and if I remember whatsoever.
Looks like I forgot to lock the doors again. If you're with the NCR, get out. This place is mine, and I'm not leaving.
Do you have something against the NCR?
Oh, like you wouldn't believe. The NCR makes a habit out of wrecking homes. I came out here to get away from them. Didn't work out so well. Next thing I know, I'm squatting in their land. Never mind that I already been living here for years.
I wonder how that works typically in government. I'm sure it's just awful for the people. Like, if the government expands in a way like that, it's like, what do they do? I don't know when the last time that's been a precedent, like, especially in the United States. Like, when does the government expand? When was the last time the United States government expanded and, like, took over someone's land? And then what did they do? Because they were in the middle of that land. I'm sure it wasn't good for the person, or maybe it was. I don't really know. I know, obviously, United States history is much worse than that in the early days. What do you do around here?
Do? I don't do anything. I'm retired.
So, what did you do before you were retired?
I was a soldier. Why do you even care? I came out here to forget about the past, so quit bringing it up.
So yeah, it's interesting if you meet these people before you know they're a part of the Enclave, because you don't get the full story. Arcade and I were looking for you. We're gathering the remnants.
Been a while, Arcade. So, what's the point of all this? Can't find any younger mercenaries?
Your advanced level of tech would be useful in settling things between the NCR and the Legion.
Is that right? The million-dollar question is, who exactly are we settling?
Well, don't worry about that. Do you have a preference?
I wouldn't mind cutting down a few platoons of NCR troopers with my old Gatling laser.
Okay, that's gonna be a problem. We're not gonna lie. I don't think one person out of the whole squad matters in terms of their, well, I don't. Oh, excuse me. Oh, that cough came out of nowhere. Are you coming to this thing or what?
Oh, I'll come. But depending on the plan, I might not be staying. Keep that in mind. Arcade might have mentioned there's a passphrase needed to get into the bunker. My part is remember.
Remember, dear old friends, Navarro? Remember, Navarro, dear old friends? Dear friends, remember old Navarro? It's obviously something like that. What did you do when you were with the Enclave?
Heavy weapons trooper. Nothing better than hosing down a target with an excess of bullets and laser fire. By the time I got through with things, not much was left standing. Any morons who didn't run when they saw me coming got what they deserved. Back then, it was war. If we'd been on the winning side, I'd be called a hero.
That's fair enough. It's also not good, I think, to have that much bloodlust, though, and just joy of killing people, you know? Maybe. Maybe that's just my opinion. Goodbye.
What's up?
What do you mean, what's up? Tell me about this guy. Tell me about the guy!
Moreno took the fall of the Enclave hard. He never questioned his orders, never questioned the legitimacy of what the Enclave was doing. To him, it was all one unbroken chain, from Washington to Richardson. When we left Navarro, I remember looking up at Moreno. He said, "Kiss America goodbye, boys." When we left the Enclave behind, the love in him burned itself out. Now there's just a bitter old man left.
Definitely seems that way. A man should know when to let go.
It's been decades, you know. By now, he's been out of the Enclave longer than he was in. Most people know when to hang it up and start over. But not Moreno.
Yeah, it's like, you know, man, one thing that I really, and this is a thing that I've thought about a lot lately, especially because I'm getting into my late 20s now. It's just like, one thing I do not want to be at the end of my life is any sort of bitter person. And I've got elements of my personality that could manifest in that way, just because I'm cynical and I'm sarcastic and I can tear into things and definitely be critical of stuff and things like that. And it's like, I'm very aware of that, and there have been family members in my family that have been that sort of bitter, and it's just like, I look at that and it's like, I am never going to be that. But I guess you just don't know until, you know, you get to that point. But yeah, what's the point, you know? What's the point of having your life hollowed out by bitterness or whatever? It's just you end up being like Moreno, and that's something that I never, ever want to be. Regardless, here's the Remnants bunker, and now we know the full passphrase. Why are there enemies? Open hatch to Remnants bunker. I don't know if Arcade's gonna have anything new. Oh, and he's in the wall. Oh, Arcade. I probably need to... Ugh, Jesus, what is with this guy? You just had like a thing mess up in every single episode, it feels like. Okay, that's not good. Because I'm pretty sure this is just gonna lead directly in. Okay, good. Now, do you say anything new?
What's up?
He had a new thing for weight here, which is interesting. Activate door control panel. It appears that some sort of passphrase needs to be entered in order to open the nearby door. Dear old friends, remember Navarro. Ask the Remnants to support the fight against the Legion or the NCR. So I'm guessing we're going to have to pass a speech check for good old Moreno, since he does not want to help the NCR. That is for sure. That was not a good joke. Not even a joke, really. So there's the vertibird. Oh, and we got a whole bunch of Remnants armor here, and it looks like I can't loot anything because we're not officially a part of the Remnants yet, I suppose. We've got an intercom and a door to Remnants bunker. Hello, everybody. How's it going? Oh, I see you guys got a sink, too. Very nice. Is that the same model as the sink? Or did they do something different? Looks like we're talking to Krieger.
Glad to see you made it here all right. So, who are we going up against?
I want you to help the NCR hold on to the dam. Help the Legion take over the dam. How are you going to deploy... let's get the info first. How are you going to deploy your squad?
Moreno, Johnson, Henry, and I will be the boots on the ground. Whitman will stay with the vertibird.
What is this place?
This was a minor refueling station for vertibirds. It seemed an appropriate place to stash our equipment if we ever needed it. I'm surprised this place hasn't fallen apart. When I put it into standby mode, I expected to return to it within a few years, not decades.
I was gonna ask, why not just sell all the equipment or find some way to sell it so that they can live at least decent lives in the wasteland? Maybe they just didn't want to. Obviously, we're gonna go with this one. I want you to help the NCR hold on to the dam.
Then that's the plan. We're gonna have a problem with Moreno, though. He won't like that we're helping the NCR. You'll have to talk to him.
You're the officer here. Can't you just order him? Will Moreno be a liability? Will Moreno be a liability?
He won't turn on us, but he's a good shot, and I'd hate to do this without him.
Yeah, you're probably going to need a really high speech check for this. You're the officer here. Can't you just order him to go along with the plan?
I stopped being Moreno's officer a long time ago. Everyone here respects me, but they don't need to follow my orders. Not anymore.
What's Moreno's problem with the NCR?
They won. We didn't. It's as simple as that. The rest of us moved on while Moreno didn't. Still, I'm not convinced Moreno hates the NCR as much as he thinks he does. You still might be able to talk him out of leaving.
Buddy, I got 100 speech. We will indeed be able to do that. I'll talk to Moreno.
You've got only one chance at this. I know Moreno. Once he's made up his mind about something, there's no changing it.
You can see for
Okay,
miles,
I'm not afraid.
it ain't
Where you at,
sealed up no
Moreno?
more.
Try to convince Orion Moreno to stay? Where even is he? He's not even in here? It's just not good having somebody that's not willing to, you know, follow the rest of the squad. Okay, I think we'll end the episode here because I do want to run through, like, everybody's dialogue and fully get the Enclave stuff because this is probably my favorite companion quest. Just very interesting. And then we might finally get to the actual main quest and the finale of the main quest in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to the people that support me on twitch.patreon/what? On Patreon, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye. Hey, it's me, GV. Thanks so much for watching this video, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to watch more of me, I'm live on Twitch pretty much every day. Link in the description. If you want to support what I do, Patreon is the best way. Link is in the description. And either way, thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.